Two friends started their careers in the same year. They worked in the same industry, earned nearly identical salaries, received similar promotions, and built families that looked almost identical from the outside. By the time they turned 60, one had a fully paid-off home, over $1.7 million invested, and the freedom to retire without worrying about money. He spends his mornings playing golf, travels whenever he wants, and never loses sleep over unexpected expenses. The other also worked hard for 4 decades. But at 60, he still carries a mortgage, owes money on 2 vehicles, has less than $300,000 saved for retirement, and wonders whether he'll ever be able to stop working. Every increase in the cost of living feels like another year added to his career. Same education, same profession, same income, radically different financial futures. The gap didn't begin in their 20s when both were struggling to build their careers. It didn't happen in their 30s while they were raising children. And by their 50s, the outcome was already incredibly difficult to change. The difference began much earlier. It started the moment one friend upgraded his lifestyle every time his income increased, while the other quietly upgraded his investments instead. So what actually separates the family that quietly builds wealth from the one that spends decades trying to catch up? It isn't intelligence. It isn't luck. And it certainly isn't earning an extraordinary income. It's understanding that one decade creates a financial opportunity that never appears again. Your 40s are unique because 3 powerful financial forces intersect at exactly the same time. Miss this window and mathematics, not motivation, becomes your biggest obstacle. The first force is peak earning power. For most people, their highest income arrives somewhere between their early 40s and mid-50s. Promotions have accumulated. Experience commands higher pay. Your paycheck is larger than it has ever been, giving you the greatest ability you'll ever have to invest meaningful amounts of money rather than just small percentages. The second force is remaining compounding time. Unlike your 50s or 60s, your investments still have roughly 2 decades or more to grow. Every dollar invested in your early 40s has enough time to multiply several times before retirement. Wait another 10 years, and that same dollar has dramatically less time to work. The money doesn't simply grow, it loses years of growth that can never be recovered. The third force is expense stabilization. By your 40s, many of life's largest expenses begin leveling off. The house that once stretched your budget feels more manageable. Major furniture purchases are behind you. Careers are established. As children become more independent, some household costs gradually stop rising. For the first time, genuine financial breathing room often appears. The question is, what happens to that extra margin? Does it quietly flow into investments that compound for decades? Or does it disappear into a bigger house, newer cars, luxury vacations, and a lifestyle that expands every time income does? These 3 forces almost never align again. Higher income. Enough time for compounding to matter. Stabilizing expenses that create room to save. Capture this rare intersection, and your future becomes dramatically easier. Miss it, and even years of aggressive saving later in life may never fully close the gap that lifestyle inflation quietly created. Let me show you why upgrading your lifestyle in your 40s is so expensive, not with opinions but with numbers. Imagine 3 people. They all turn 40 with $100,000 already invested for retirement. They all earn $110,000 per year. They all retire at 65. The only difference is what they do with the extra income their 40s provide. Person 1 resists lifestyle inflation. Every raise goes toward investing instead of spending. They consistently save 15% of their income, or about $16,500 per year, invested in diversified index funds earning an average annual return of 8%. By age 65, they retire with approximately $1.35 million. They didn't earn more than everyone else. They simply gave their money the maximum amount of time to grow. Now, meet person 2. They enjoy the higher paycheck during their 40s. Retirement feels far away, so they save only 5% of their income for 10 years. At 50, reality begins to feel much closer. They increase contributions to 15%, believing they can make up for lost time. They retire with approximately $780,000. That's about $570,000 less, despite saving aggressively for the final 15 years. Those missing years of compounding quietly erased more than $500,000. Finally, there's person 3. Every raise funds a better lifestyle. The larger home, the luxury vehicles, the upgraded vacations. Retirement contributions fall to just 2% of income throughout their 40s. At 50, panic sets in. They slash spending and begin saving an impressive 20% of their income until retirement. It sounds responsible. It also isn't enough. By age 65, they accumulate roughly $590,000. Compared to the first person, their comfortable 40s ultimately cost them about $760,000 in retirement wealth. That's the danger almost nobody sees. Lifestyle inflation doesn't just spend today's income. It quietly steals tomorrow's freedom. Because the dollars you invest in your 40s aren't valuable simply because you invested them. They're valuable because they had 25 years to multiply, something no amount of sacrifice in your 50s can ever recreate. Now, let's look at the 5 decisions that quietly determine whether your higher income becomes lasting wealth or simply funds a more expensive lifestyle. The first decision is housing. Your 40s often bring the urge to upgrade. The family wants more space.
Your career has advanced.
A larger home finally feels affordable. But affordability and wealth are not the same thing. A family moving from a $350,000 home to a $600,000 home typically increases monthly housing costs by $1,500 to $2,000. That's $18,000 to $24,000 per year that never reaches investments. Left to compound until retirement, that single decision can reduce retirement wealth by roughly $900,000 to $1.3 million. The second decision is vehicles. The practical sedan becomes a luxury SUV. Reliable transportation becomes a status symbol. Owning two $45,000 vehicles instead of two $28,000 vehicles creates more debt, higher insurance, and greater maintenance costs. Over time, that upgrade can quietly cost $200,000 to $400,000 in retirement wealth. The third decision involves your children. The teenage years bring expensive activities, cars, insurance, and college. Many parents stop retirement contributions, borrow heavily, or even raid retirement accounts to pay education costs. By age 40, they had $185,000 in retirement accounts, owned a modest home worth $320,000 with $180,000 left on the mortgage, were raising 2 children, and earned a combined $165,000 per year. Financially, they were in an excellent position. Then came a series of decisions that all felt reasonable. David wanted a larger home in a nicer neighborhood. They upgraded to a $575,000 house, increasing their monthly costs by roughly $1,650. To make the numbers work, they reduced retirement contributions from 15% to 6%, promising themselves it was only temporary. Then David replaced his aging car with a new SUV, adding another $680 per month. A year later, Christine upgraded her vehicle as well. As their children entered high school, private sports training, SAT tutoring, college visits, and eventually an out-of-state university added even more pressure. Rather than choosing a more affordable option, they used Parent Plus loans to bridge the gap. Every decision made sense on its own. Together, they quietly redirected hundreds of thousands of dollars away from their future. Now meet Robert and Jennifer. Their financial starting point looked remarkably similar. Comparable income, similar retirement savings, similar home, 2 children of nearly the same ages. But they made different choices. They stayed in their existing home even after promotions increased their income. They drove reliable vehicles for longer. Their children attended affordable universities with scholarships, part-time jobs, and reasonable student loans contributing to the cost. Most importantly, they never reduced retirement contributions. Every raise increased their investments instead of their lifestyle. By retirement, the gap between the two couples was enormous. Robert and Jennifer entered retirement with financial freedom, flexibility, and confidence. David and Christine entered retirement carrying debt, significantly smaller investment accounts, and years of financial pressure that never needed to exist. Neither couple made one catastrophic mistake. The difference came from dozens of ordinary decisions that felt harmless in the moment, but compounded for nearly 3 decades into two completely different retirements. At this point, you might be thinking something important. But didn't David and Christine enjoy the bigger house, the newer cars, and the nicer lifestyle? Wasn't that worth something? The surprising answer is, probably not as much as they believed. Research on long-term happiness consistently finds that people adapt remarkably quickly to lifestyle upgrades. The excitement of a larger home fades. The new car becomes the normal car. The renovated kitchen eventually becomes just another kitchen. What felt extraordinary slowly becomes ordinary. Meanwhile, the larger mortgage payment, higher insurance bills, maintenance costs, and financial obligations remain for years. Robert and Jennifer experienced something very different. They never had the temporary excitement of constantly upgrading, but they also avoided the permanent financial pressure that follows those upgrades. What's fascinating is that, on an ordinary Tuesday afternoon, both couples likely reported very similar levels of happiness. Both enjoyed family dinners. Both celebrated birthdays. Both watched their children grow up. Both took vacations, even if one family's vacations were less extravagant. The day-to-day emotional difference between their lives was surprisingly small. The financial difference, however, became enormous. One couple gradually accumulated freedom. The other gradually accumulated obligations. That's why lifestyle inflation is so deceptive. It asks you to trade permanent financial flexibility for temporary emotional rewards that quickly fade into the background. By the time the excitement disappears, the payments are still there. And every dollar committed to maintaining a bigger lifestyle is a dollar that no longer has decades to compound into future security. The real choice was never between enjoying life and sacrificing it. It was between buying short-lived excitement today or building lasting freedom tomorrow. The families who understand this don't necessarily live less enjoyable lives. They simply recognize that the satisfaction of financial independence lasts far longer than the excitement of the next upgrade, and that's why they protect their investment contributions long before they protect their lifestyle. So, what should you do with all of this? The answer depends on where you are today. If you're in your 20s or 30s, don't wait until your 40s to build good financial habits. Every raise you receive should increase your investments before it increases your lifestyle. Build the discipline now, and when your peak earning years arrive, you'll already have a system working in your favor instead of trying to create one from scratch. If you're entering your 40s, recognize the opportunities sitting in front of you. This is likely the decade when your income, remaining compounding time, and financial stability overlap. Protect that advantage. Before upgrading your home, replacing your vehicles, or expanding your monthly spending, ask yourself one question. Will this purchase improve my life enough to justify what it could cost me in retirement? If you're in your late 40s, don't panic if you feel behind. Panic often leads to rushed decisions instead of better ones. Focus on increasing your savings rate, reducing unnecessary lifestyle expenses, and making smart career moves while you still have meaningful compounding time ahead. You may not have as much leverage as you did at 40, but you still have time to improve your outcome. If you're already past your 40s, don't assume it's too late. You can't recover the years that have already passed, but you can avoid making the same mistake for another decade. Every dollar you save today still matters. Every unnecessary expense you eliminate still strengthens your financial future. The lesson isn't really about your age. It's about understanding that every stage of life has a highest leverage decision. Your 40s simply happen to contain more of those decisions than any other decade. The sooner you recognize that, the more likely you are to spend your later years enjoying the freedom your earlier choices created, instead of spending them wishing you had made different ones. Now, picture yourself at 70 years old. You wake up on a quiet morning with nowhere you have to be. Your investments comfortably cover your living expenses. The mortgage is long gone. You can visit your grandchildren, travel when you choose, help your family if they need it, and enjoy retirement without constantly checking your bank account. You aren't wealthy because you earned an extraordinary salary. You're comfortable because, decades earlier, you made a series of ordinary decisions that consistently favored your future over temporary upgrades. Now picture another version of yourself. You're the same age. You worked just as hard. You earned a similar income. You spent a lifetime providing for your family. But retirement feels uncertain. Every unexpected expense creates anxiety. You wonder whether your savings will last. You hesitate before booking trips. You worry about inflation, healthcare costs, and whether you'll eventually become financially dependent on someone else. The difference between these two futures wasn't created by one dramatic decision. It was created by hundreds of small choices that barely felt important at the time. One more expensive home. One more car upgrade. One more lifestyle increase after every promotion. Individually, they seemed harmless. Together, they quietly determined what retirement would feel like. That's why your 40s matter more than almost any other decade. It's the rare moment when your highest earning power, meaningful compounding time, and improving financial stability all exist together. The choices you make during those years don't simply change your monthly budget. They shape the life you'll be living decades from now. So, before your next upgrade, pause for a moment. Ask yourself whether you're buying something that will still matter 20 years from today, or whether you're trading away a future version of yourself who would gladly exchange today's luxury for tomorrow's freedom. Because retirement isn't built by one perfect financial decision. It's built by consistently making small decisions that allow your money to grow while time is still on your side. And if there's one lesson to remember from everything we've covered, it's this. Think twice before upgrading your lifestyle, because the life you're upgrading today may be the retirement you're quietly giving away tomorrow.